unidentified team has come out and submitted a rule plan to ban the tush push. And I can already tell what you think about this. Some bullshit.
Well, it's the Packers. Did you see that?
I did not see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the Green Bay Packers, and they're salty that we beat them too. I knew it was going to be I knew it would be an NFC competitor. Like I knew it would be. I was thinking it would be Washington because of that debacle at the goal line.
And welcome back to another episode of your favorite couch potatoes. I'm your host, JayCubz, joined by Philly Seim, and we're ready to get into it. We're going to get through some football news first and then take a quick break, get into basketball, which we haven't done in a while. But let's start on the college side, Seim. Some Ohio State news, big news. Ryan Day and Ohio State agreed to a new 7-year contract worth $12.5 big ones a year. So after just a few months ago when they lost to Michigan and everybody in Ohio wanted his head, he's locked down as a national champion and I'm sure the highest paid coach in college football.
I'm thinking he's probably the highest paid coach in football, and my God, inking a 7-year freaking deal. Are you kidding? You got to really like someone if you want him to stick around for 7 years. So he must be really good at things that we don't know about, like even off the, you know what I mean, off the field that we're not in the know. The guy, he must be an awesome recruiter. He must work good with the boosters. So hey, give him his props, man. He just inked a 7-year deal.
Yes, sir. He just needs to beat Michigan once. That's the only thing that he hasn't freaking done. Michigan. He brought in somebody to help him. Someone me and you know pretty well, Matt Patricia, going to be his next defensive coordinator. So, hey, he was defensive coordinator for the Pats in our second run there with our 3 Super Bowls in the 2010s. So I think he's perfect for that position and great defensive play caller, great mind. So I think they'll be perfect for him.
I got a little sour grapes over Patricia just because he was hired as he was originally hired. What was that 2 years ago as what was his title? It was some
like an assistant or something, right? And then
he got they canned what was the Indian dude's name?
I can't remember.
It's not Brian Johnson. It's not Brian Johnson. It's the other guy.
Yeah, and I can't remember the defense.
And so they canned him, and Patricia kind of got thrown to the wolves in this epic Eagles collapse. I mean, dude, he's a former Super Bowl champ, man. I mean, it's a good hire.
It is. Since what? I guess since he became a head coach at Detroit, I think just his image went downhill so bad because then when he came back to New England, Bill decided to make him a fucking offensive coordinator, a co-offensive coordinator for whatever, and it just was terrible. And then this thing in Philly, but I think it'll be good for him. So love to hear it. All right, couple more things in college football. I love this. The NCAA is considering a rule proposal that will require players who receive medical attention to miss the entire possession rather than just the next play. I love this because I don't know how many times you saw it, but I like every week, and it was just so intentional. It was literally the quarterback going, hey, go get down. And that's not football. That's not the game, man. So I think that'll be great and incentivize a lot of teams to stop pulling that bullshit.
Yeah, I hate it at the pro level as well. Makes me crazy. Especially when you have, especially when, imagine it's your team and your offense is rolling, man. You've had their defense on the field especially with the Eagles run game. I mean, you've got you. Well, I'm sorry, I'm talking about the Eagles again, but
hard not to.
I know, right? But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a horrible part of the game, and I look forward to seeing what the change is all. But like, I want to see what's going on. I want to see how they nuance I want to see how they further de-incentivize it. Do you know what I'm saying? I just want to see.
They should go even further than this, like than the whole possession, or
But you could have a shitty player going down. Do you know what I
True.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's okay. It's not Jalen Carter. It's whoever the hell that is.
Hmm.
Going
Sub them in
down.
for one play. Oh no! All
That's
of a
what I'm
sudden,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, it's definitely helped. I mean, more than just the one play. You can't just that. Then you have to at least do more, instead of just any player go down. And anybody can survive without even Saquon for a play, right? You have a playbook for Kenneth Gainwell and a whole
Yeah.
different kind of thing. So hopefully to be something. And then last thing, SEC and Big Ten are considering a further expansion to 14 to 16 teams for the college football playoff. So I don't know. I think that's cool. I think we saw that even those, eight. Well, I guess Ohio State was eight, but they weren't really the eighth ranked
Yeah.
team. It was just the seeding. But those lower teams like was SMU, Clemson, getting their butts whooped in the first round. Like that first round was one of the worst things. So I don't know if expanding it's really gonna help much. I think the main thing is got to be reseeding, figuring that out because it clearly was not right this time. But I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, what's it do? Is it add a, would that just adds one additional game? Is that what it would do? I mean, because
Yeah,
what
one to two, I guess. One to
yeah,
two more. I don't know if you would have to mess with the buys. Would you have more
yeah.
buys? If you had 16 teams, would you need another buy?
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know.
I mean, what you figure in the NFL? Well, if you figure NFL playoffs, it's around 16.
They have 14 teams, yeah, so they would
That's
maybe go like one less
14
buy, like
teams.
you're saying. So that
Yeah,
way, only that top team gets a buy or
yeah.
something.
So that means you have one from each side. So yeah, we'll see what it does. I like the playoff format. I have bowl games make me nuts. I'm tired of it. I mean, I'll miss some of the tradition of the old Cotton Bowl and Orange Bowl and all that stuff, but the playoff is a way to take care of the controversy every year that we dread every
Yep.
single year.
Yep.
Like, who gives a shit if the 17th team doesn't get in? I don't care.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing. I think there was still a couple like I think a lot of people still wanted Alabama, which I definitely didn't think they deserved to be
No.
in, but there's a lot of people, and then when you see SMU and Clemson put up those kind of performances, you could argue, yeah, they met, but
Yeah.
once you get down to it, I mean like when it got down to Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, like you knew that those teams were the class of the field anyways, so.
100
And then you What's that?
100%.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get into the NFL. I'm sad that our boy Feisty isn't here to celebrate in these headlines with you because this is some awesome shit. But so a lot of we've been talking about it. Aaron Rodgers, where's he going? Where's he going? A lot of betting odds are saying maybe the Steelers that would be the place for him. Steelers safety Deshaun Elliott says, "Hell no, leave his direct quote, leave his ass in the retirement home," just as Feist was saying, man. Oh boy. And apparently Aaron Rodgers pleaded, this is just a report I saw, to stay with the team, asked for another 1 to 2 years. Oh boy, what not a good look for Aaron Rodgers. I didn't think it could get any worse than how we talk about him on this podcast, but now we got NFL players shitting on him.
Yeah, right. No, I saw when I heard that report on Pittsburgh, the dude popped off like when the Pittsburgh headline came out. I think it was like an AP headline or something. Like, I can't even remember what the headline was. The safety popped off right away. There was no like it was just like he heard the news and it just came out of his mouth, which I thought was crazy. Like, it came out at the same time. And I've also heard. Did you hear Tennessee as well? I heard Tennessee
I
was
am starting to hear Tennessee a little bit. Yeah. Give them a
no.
little more flexibility on what they want to do with that number one pick and everything.
Yep, yep, exactly.
I don't know that that's somewhere he'd really want to go, but I mean, does he have a choice? Does he want to keep playing? I
Yeah,
know that both me and you were kind of saying Minnesota still makes the most sense to us. I think the thing with the Steelers, I would see him maybe doing a little bit better than Russell Wilson. But that
yeah.
Steelers offense just has so many problems that they got a lot more to deal with than just Aaron Rodgers isn't going to win you a Super Bowl with that roster.
I wouldn't want to go. I wouldn't want to go. I don't. I don't think that he's interested in that. The Jets' offense is actually better than that. It's crazy. It's crazy. And
It
then
is.
that's ridiculous. And I love this pleated. Like I
Mm,
love at I wanted to think, oh, that means Aaron Rodgers wants to stay and he's being a team player. But then the other part of me thought, oh, he's in the begging mode of staying. That's
yeah,
like
that's where I went.
no, oh, did you? I didn't go
Yeah.
there first. Okay.
Yeah, I was just like, wow, pleaded, huh?
Yes, begging, please keep me. I'm like,
Oh, that's the
whatever. I
first
know.
quarterback to beg to be a New York Jet, I
Yeah,
think,
beg to
since
be a
Peyton
Jet.
Manning.
That's so sad, man. I got one more thing. I just wanted to comment. I know we give Rogers a hard time, and it'd really be tough to put him on a contender because at least in my opinion, he's become so toxic. But we agree he put up like top 7 numbers. He still put
Hmm.
up.
Yeah.
When we talked about that last week, and I looked at those numbers, I'm like, whoa.
I think he can still spin it. And that's why I think Minnesota, that's what, like, with that offense, and then even especially if they could re-sign Aaron Jones, I think that'd be perfect. He loves Aaron
Yeah, right.
Jones. Good little safety valve for him. And yeah, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson. I mean, they're littered with weapons. And I
Yeah,
haven't even mentioned the great genius mind Kevin O'Connell yet. So like I think that makes the most sense.
it
And
makes
you don't
it.
have to pay him much. You get JJ McCarthy that time to develop. I think it works.
I think it makes a lot of sense, but again, the question is
The
is
toxicity.
is a contender willing to do it? The
Right.
Jets are willing to do it. The Titans are willing to do it. The Steelers, who are kind of still a fringe team,
I don't know if
so.
Tomlin would, like all that shit. I don't think he would want that to
Oh my God!
handle any of that shit. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So,
yeah. All right.
all right, let's move on to some Jaguars news and still some Steelers news. I hadn't heard a whiff of this until I saw this report. I don't know if you have, but Trevor Lawrence apparently there were some rumors about him being traded. And some of them were specifically to the Steelers that they were showing interest in him. But he came out and said he's happy here in Jacksonville. He wants to build something there. You think talking about that? I mean, I think Trevor Lawrence would be better for the Steelers than Aaron Rodgers would be. I think he could eventually. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's just been in some shitty situations. He's got a playoff win under his belt when they had Doug
Doug
Peterson. There
Peterson.
we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It sounds like he's going to stay put there. I think that they could have had a better season possibly if he stayed
Yeah.
healthy a lot of it, but I don't know. What do you think?
I thought, I did hear this, and I thought that he would want out because that organization just bites, man.
Right?
It's a crappy organization. And I don't know I don't know how I feel about it. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think and he's a top. I mean, I'd call him a top 15
Yeah, I
quarterback.
think so.
He's above average quarterback. He could play for a lot of teams, and I was thinking that he might want to get out of there because I mean they're about to flip coaches, and they got a long way to go. And maybe he likes it down
Yeah.
there. I don't know.
Especially after did you see their new head coach Liam Cohen say Duval?
No,
You didn't see it? Okay,
no,
look it up after
no.
this. But they asked him,
Okay.
they always ask all the coaches, whatever, to say Duval, and he goes, Duval.
Hmm.
It was the most awkward thing in the world. But
Who's the coach? Who is it?
Liam Cohen. So I think it was like a couple of weeks before you came on, we broke that news, and he was the former Tampa Bay offensive coordinator.
I
Apparently,
got
he
you.
interviewed with Jacksonville and then was like, "No, I'm not interested in the job." Took a deal to become the highest paid coordinator in NFL history with the Bucks, re-signed with them. And then, like a week later, he went back down to Jacksonville after the deal.
Yeah.
So bargaining, whatever you call it, Tampa was
Hmm.
pissed at him, but
Hmm.
yeah, they did also find their new GM. They got Rams' former director of scouting strategy. That's just my favorite thing to do every time there's this new GM. Read some new title I've never heard before. But James Gladstone to be their next GM. So I have to see if Trevor, him, and Liam Cohen can get it figured out. Let's move along. We got some Chargers news. They are another team heading out of the country. They're going down to Brazil in week 1, be the home team there. And their former head coach, our buddy Julio, is a big fan of this guy. Not
Yeah.
really. Brandon Staley is going to be the Saints' next
Okay.
defensive coordinator. So I know he's had success in that role before. Definitely not a head coach materials, but I don't know. So we got Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley. Do they have an offensive coordinator? I can't
No,
remember
he's
now.
calling. No, he's calling the plays. That's why
More.
they wanted more calling the plays. So yeah, no, Kellen wants a chance to you know what I mean
Yeah.
to do it all before he's gone in 2 years.
Do the same thing.
And then yep, exactly. He'll be somebody's offensive coordinator in a couple years.
It's
I'm
crazy
telling you,
how.
man. These guys, these you know what on it, we're on the outside looking in. These guys,
100%.
their whole life is it just must be absolutely to become that head coach, and no matter who it's for, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't think it's about the money. I think it is about they've worked their whole life. That's
Yep.
been their dream, and so they do it. You know.
Right. And how can you pass it up? Like you have to go for it. There's only in a lot of these guys you only get one of those chances, but then you just see these guys where like Chip Kelly we talked about, like Matt Patricia, they're just suited for that coordinator role. That
Yeah.
head coaching job, you got to have the personality for it. You got to be able to handle a lot, and not everybody can do it. And that's exactly what we both think about Kellen Moore. We think, yeah,
Yeah.
another 2-year deal that probably won't work out in the long run. I mean, they're just so fucked anyways, too. Like Kellen Moore's walking in with one hand tied behind his back with all that cap bullshit. But
Hey, you know what I mean? They choose this stuff. It just
yeah,
must be worth it to these folks to keep doing it. And then, you also got to look at it this way, right? When you have success and you win a Super Bowl as one of the coordinators, there's your stock is at its highest, right?
yep,
Because
yep,
let's say Kellen Moore doesn't have let's say he's still successful next year, but you know what I mean. You're not the flavor of the month anymore, so
mm-mm.
now you may not get the gig. So these guys, jump around like that.
Got to do what you got to do. But
Yep.
hey, maybe it won't be as bad for the Saints because the NFL increased the salary cap again. It was 255 million for each team last year,
Yep.
and now it's going to be between 277 to 281. So I think that brings the Pats up to like almost 150 million in cap space. Well, love to hear that. Gonna be excited, and yeah, help those teams that are kind of on the fringe. You know what I mean? The NFL just keeps going up. It's gonna do this like
Yeah.
every year.
I am excited, man, because we got four players that the Birds got four players that we need to sign. I want at least two of them. I
Yep.
and this could be quite helpful.
Who are the
So
two you really want?
I want Zach Bond,
Mm,
obviously, and I want Milton Williams. I want that interior lineman, and he had a really good second half of the year. Mekhi Becton, the offensive lineman, we have a couple waiting in the wings that we drafted already. Um,
okay.
and I don't always trust a one like he was a bust. He came over to us. He's surrounded by great players. I want to know how good he really is, right?
Hmm.
And then the other player is Josh Sweat, who has these roller coaster years, and he had
Yeah.
but he's an edge, man. These edge guys, my God, they get paid, dude. These
Yes, they
edge
do.
guys get. Why would you not want to be like if I grew up and I had, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
let's say I was a linebacker,
Hmm.
and I'm 200 and I'm a small linebacker. I'm a 235-pound linebacker. I'm wanting to move to the edge.
Yeah.
I'm going to college trying to get to the edge,
Dude, I think so. And then I've listened to like JJ Watt talk about he's talked about it a lot and some other edge guy like they talk about in their as far as like the mental side of it, it's like the easiest position. They don't really need to know every play call and
Yeah.
all of this stuff. That's see quarterback, get quarterback, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's like you get paid fuck ton of money. You just got to be
Yeah.
super fast, super athletic. So it's not like it's just easy peasy. But if like you're saying, if that's the position you were in, like if I had kids or whatever, that I'd be like, hey, let's move you here. I want
Yeah.
you to play here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Got to get to the
100%.
edge. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, some sad news for our boy Feisty. His all-time guard for the Cowboys, Zach Martin,
Mhm.
is retiring from the game. 9-time Pro Bowler, 7-time All-Pro. He informed the Cowboys last week about this. I think the last one of that kind of group of great offensive linemen they had for that stretch, and one of the best really of all time. So congrats to him on a great career. Sorry, never got any success because you played for the wrong team. But yeah,
Yeah.
just kind of sad to see him go.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's sad news. It's not big news because God, has he deteriorate? Like, I mean, it's not breaking news. I mean,
Yeah, he's like
that.
34, I think.
Oh my God! And the
Mm-hmm.
wheels were starting to come off, big time. Man, he gave us nightmares, man.
Yeah,
He was a great run blocker. I mean, God, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, um,
100%.
but anyways, I hate the Cowboys, and if it makes actually, I'm kind of discouraged. Sometimes you like those guys to hang around and
Yeah,
suck up
yep,
cap space, man.
yep. Hey, we always say it. Jerry will find a way to fuck something up. So
Yeah,
don't worry
right.
about that.
Yeah, right. Oh, I know he will. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to your Eagles. I know you wanted to talk about this. So I've seen a couple of different reports today. I'll just tell you what I've heard. You'll see what you've heard. And you're obviously closer to the situation, but saw one report. It was the Eagles Nation on Twitter. They're verified. I don't know. Everybody's verified nowadays. So but they said a well placed insider heard discussions between Eagles players and their front office, resulting in a massive no if they would accept an invitation to the White House. Then I saw a report from Yahoo Sports saying that those rumors are false and the team would accept an invitation. And I was hearing, I think on the other side, you were saying they're getting snubbed out of a White House visit. They're not getting invited. What's going on here?
You know what? Reports are all over the place. Scheffler, I think he was the one who debunked the initial kind of that breaking news that came out this morning. It was the first thing I saw when I woke up. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on now. I'm actually seeing an NBC Sports right now, who actually I trust. Let's see what they have to say. Knowledge of teams said the Eagles will show up. Contrary report, waiting the White House to win the Super Bowl. So I'm seeing an article here. It's NBC Sports, but it's not. It's only credited to the
To the company or whatever.
yeah, and not credited. No one's going out on a limb. So I'd say I'd put it on the shelf right now, and you know what I'm saying, and see
Have to
what
see.
happens. So
It's crazy that it's just this big of a deal. You know what I mean? I mean, it's always been a thing, and now so much is going on that
yeah,
you
bro.
can't even get an
He
invitation or
rooted.
whatever.
Listen, he rooted against us in the Super Bowl, man. He came out openly and said he wants the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
Oh
He said he
no!
wants. Yes, he did. He said he wants the Chiefs to win because he's still salty from 2018 when he got the snub.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, he's still salty, and I get it.
Ah,
He's salty, but he rooted against us, man. I
can't be doing that.
I'd either want to show up and throw it in his face, or I would snub. I don't
Snub
know.
him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
We'll
know.
have to keep our ear to the ground with this for sure. Another Eagles news. Just saw this come out today. An unidentified team has come out and submitted a rule plan to ban the tush push, and yeah, I can already tell what you think about this. Some
um,
bullshit.
well, it's the Packers. Did you see that?
I did not see it.
Yeah,
You found that out?
yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
It's the Green Bay Packers, and maybe they're salty that we beat them too. I knew it was going to be I knew it would be an NFC competitor. Like I knew it would be. I was thinking it would be Washington because of that debacle at the goal
Yeah.
line.
Yep.
But apparently it was Green Bay. Um, I think that first of all, I don't understand why all teams don't do it.
Yeah.
It must be more complicated than we think it is, or wouldn't they be doing it? That's all I'm saying. I mean, what? Why?
They you certainly got to have a quarterback like Drake May,
Yeah,
and then Drake May, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, that are bigger, stronger, got those legs underneath him. You know what I mean? Like Lamar ain't never gonna do a tush push. He
no,
is, he's frail or whatever. But they can obviously they have other things like that's my thing. It's like you can't guard Lamar, right? Like you can't take away you're gonna take away his ability to run. You're gonna take his
yeah,
ability away to scramble, whatever. And I don't know. Yeah, if you can't be like, if I don't know, it's just not there. It's a perfectly legal play. We've been doing QB sneaks forever. And I know Tom Brady was, used to be the best at it, if you want to
yeah, yeah,
count
yeah,
whatever Jalen Hurts.
yeah.
But you just got, I know you got to find a way to stop it, I guess.
Yeah.
There's got to be something.
Well,
Did
they
you see,
they
by the way, we didn't talk about it, but Chris Jones lined up completely sideways to try and stop it in the Super
Oh
Bowl?
yeah, I saw that. That
I
was
didn't see
insane,
that till
dude.
just the other day. I was like, holy
Yeah, that
shit,
was
that's
insane.
insane.
I saw this really cool thing on Neil deGrasse Tyson, who that he was doing one of his his science shows or whatever, and he was asked about the tush push, and he went into this. And by the way, he's a former, I think, college wrestler. So he's not just a science guy.
Yeah.
He just talked about how it was physics. I mean, it was tongue in cheek, but he said how physics said that it was unstoppable or whatever. But I thought that was kind of clever. But they did change the rule last year in that you could not engage with the quarterback's ass until the ball was snapped, and then like they said you got to be this far behind or a foot behind. Once the ball snapped, then you can push. So they did change it
A
a
little.
little bit,
That's
and
funny. That doesn't even seem like the biggest part of it. I feel like the two dudes that are that doesn't really even matter whatever they're doing.
no,
But
no.
I
I
don't know.
Yeah. The last thing is like obviously I have my bias and I want to keep it. I don't know. I don't know how I try to always be honest with myself. I don't know how I'd feel if I was another team like and
Yeah.
and I couldn't stop it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Hey man, I mean we don't have we rarely play you every 4 or 5 years or whatever it is, so it's not like it's the biggest deal from my
Yeah,
perspective. But would have to it'd be interesting to see what Feist thinks. But I don't know. I think the thing is it's only good within two yards, but really 1 yard.
yeah,
And like if stop them before then. Stop
yeah,
get them to third and fourth. They're not going to do a tush push on third and four, so I
yeah,
don't have a big deal with it. I'm not
yeah,
I don't think it's a big deal, but
yeah,
some teams are
yeah,
definitely getting annoyed with it, and I can understand because it's got a 99.97% success rate.
yeah. Even without Kelsey, we can still do it. So I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know.
got like I said, somebody else has got to figure out. I know Josh Allen, the Bills. I feel like
Yeah,
they're the second best. They're not quite as
yeah,
good, but
yeah.
got to be able to figure it out. So,
Got to be
and if
able
you
to
don't
figure
want
it
a
out.
big quarterback like those guys, then that's what you got to deal with.
Yeah, yeah. Got it.
All right. Well, final thing NFL Combine already here. We're like, what, a few weeks from 2 weeks removed from the Super Bowl. We're already back in NFL action.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
lots of shit going on. A lot of people coming out, not going to
That's right.
participate. Shador Sanders not going to throw. I haven't heard anything on Cam Ward,
I have
but
not either.
the
No.
biggest guys, they never throw. Like the top three quarterbacks last year, nobody threw at the combine. Everybody waits to throw at their pro day. So Shador not going to do it. Ashton Genty's not participating in any workouts. Neither is Abdul Carter. So a couple, big names, top first round picks, not going to be able to do it. And then I think overall, we're just looking at this combine. And I read this report that scouts are viewing it as a relatively weak class, and I'd have to agree with that. I mean, especially we talked about the quarterbacks, right? There's not even a Drake May in this quarterback class. Like I don't think because we all knew that Drake May would be the third pick. He was going three no matter what. And Shador, it's like Cam Ward maybe. Cam Ward may definitely top five pick. Shador maybe could fall out of the top five. And then obviously we talked about Ashton Genty, but he's not gonna. I don't know that he'll make it in the top five, maybe top 10. I know Jahmyr Gibbs was I think the eighth pick, and then we had Bijan that
Oh,
was the fourth pick a
when
couple of
did
years
Gibbs?
ago.
When did Gibbs come out?
I
Because I
think
wanted him. That's who I. That's who I
2 years
wanted.
ago. Yeah.
I did. I did not want Robinson.
Oh,
I wanted.
Gibbs.
Oh my God! I wanted that home run hitter,
And I think
man.
Ashton Genty's, that type of level. I think he'll definitely be a
Yeah.
first round guy. And then, but just other than that, there's just not a lot of exciting names. I know Tara. I'm gonna mess up this name, but Tatoria McMillan. He's a guy from Arizona. Had a
Okay.
great year last year. Wide receiver. He's kind of being viewed as the number one wide receiver. I've
Okay.
talked about it time and time again. I want Will Campbell, offensive tackle. He's a dog. I think he led up maybe one sack this season, but I don't even know if he did that.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just unreal this season. So that's exactly what the Patriots need. But yeah, other than that, there's just not crazy big names. Like even like last year, we had all the quarterbacks, but then after that, I feel like you still had all these crazy big names at all different um, like positions and everything. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this combine
Yeah.
maybe changes things or really doesn't.
It's really hard for I prop. I don't tend to pay as much attention to the combine, and the reason being is because the birds are always, they're gonna get these. They're not gonna get the top five or six. You know what
Right.
I mean? We haven't gone in the top five since we took Wentz. But I can understand. You got five or six teams. That are all eyes, obviously, on these players because they can make or break the franchise. Now
Yeah.
I think when I think of them quarterbacks, I think there's some decent quarterbacks in the mix. I really do. I think quarterback is we agree it's a crapshoot, right? We don't know who's going to turn out and who's not. So when you think you've got the next big thing, it doesn't always happen. And I think we have what four or five quarterbacks that are projected to go in the you said
I
in the
think
top
so because we got in the first
in
round
the
probably.
yeah you said maybe the top 15 maybe because
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
know
know that. I
either.
don't know. I think the only guarantees to go top 10 for sure are going to be Shador and Cam Ward. I think Jackson Dart's one. That's another name that is possibly going to go in the first round. A lot of people saying Steelers for him, or yeah, for him. But and then I can't remember. There's some other guy I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, just not like that crazy. Like there's not that crazy name, but I think that, like you said, there's some quality guys out there
Yeah.
that are probably going to go lower first round, or even other rounds that you might surprise us. So
Dude, did you
excited to
see?
see.
I just wanted to add one thing. Did you see those offensive linemen? No, the defensive linemen. What was it? 2 years ago that were in the combine, and you had like five guys that were over like 320 pounds run under five
Oh,
seconds, and then
mm-hmm.
I saw Jordan Davis was, I think, 355 pounds, and he ran a 4.78.
Nuts.
That's why I like to watch the combine. Do you know what I mean? That you have these freaks, man.
Yep. Yeah,
So
it's gonna be exciting and a lot of stuff too. We might see a lot of trade talks are gonna happen. You know what I mean? We were talking about a couple of those wide receivers. You got all those GMs, coaches together. I'm starting to hear we haven't talked about it. Matt Stafford's name is kind of getting floated around in
it
trade
is.
rumors now. That'll be interesting. I
It
thought another guy that
is.
likes LA, and I think, dude, I was saying it. Can't remember who to, but the other day was they were the team that took you to the closest like of anybody in the playoffs. They were the hardest game you had, and they were the only one with the chance to win at the end of the game. Like they
Yeah.
still have it. I'd go for another year or two, but maybe they're trying to prepare for
I,
the future.
I don't know what they're up to. They do still have it, man. I don't. The Rams. They got some good players, and they got a really good coach, man. I don't
Yes.
know what the deal is. How long's left on his contract? He's got another year left on the contract.
He's got to have at least 1 or 2 more years. Yeah.
One or 2 years left on a contract. So I think I heard the rumors as well. We'll see. We'll see if they
Yeah.
have any. We'll see if they have any legs. That'll be awesome to see. And we're gonna find out when's the draft. What's the
Draft
draft date?
April, late April. I don't remember the exact date,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So
it's almost there.
things are gonna really start moving, man, and people are gonna be making their trades and all their agreements based on the draft, 100%.
Yep.
Especially they're probably those 4 or 5 quarterback positions. You may see movement in those areas.
Yep. And we'll
So
definitely have to keep our eye
well,
on it.
yeah, that means the Rams might want to move. The Rams the Rams will be, if that's the case, man, the Rams are going to be moving up, man.
Yeah,
So
100%. Okay, well, that's the NFL. We're going to take a short break and then get into the NBA on the other side. We'll check you then.